Okay, so we're diving into follow your passion today.
Yeah.
And whoa!
Yeah.
You've got like articles and notes.
Mm-hmm.
It's a whole stack here. You've clearly been thinking about this a lot.
I have.
So let's really like deep dive into it.
Yeah.
What can we find out about this whole follow your passion advice?
It's a really good question.
Yeah.
Because everybody, it's kind of like
It's everywhere.
it's a mantra, right?
It is.
It sounds great on the surface.
Right.
Do what you love, follow your bliss, all that stuff.
Right. Everyone says it.
Yeah.
But looking at what you've pulled together here, like
Yeah.
these sources are hinting that there's maybe
Right.
a different side to it.
There's a lot more nuance to it.
Yeah, like what if it's not all it's cracked up to be?
Yeah, what if it's actually bad advice?
What if it is?
Yeah.
Okay, so let's get into some of these pitfalls
Okay.
that these sources are talking about.
Yeah.
The first one being unrealistic expectations. And I feel like this is a big one
This is a big one.
that a lot of people fall into.
Yeah. And I think a lot of the sources back that up.
Yeah.
I think there was a study in one of these sources that found that something like 80% of entrepreneurs
Wow.
who just followed their passion
Mhm.
failed within the first 5 years.
Oh, wow.
So,
Yeah.
it's not a guarantee of success.
Yeah.
Passion doesn't necessarily equal profit.
Right.
It's like you might love, underwater basket weaving,
Right.
but are there enough people out there who are going to pay you to do that so that you can make a living?
Uh-huh. Right. Like miniature furniture for squirrels.
Exactly.
Super cool to make.
Yeah.
Maybe,
Uh-huh.
but is there a market for it?
Yeah, and the sources talk a lot about market demand.
Yeah.
You could be incredibly skilled at something,
Right.
but if nobody wants it,
Yeah.
if there's no demand,
Then
it's going to be tough.
it's not going to work.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So
And even if there is demand, it might be hussing for years
yeah.
before you see anything.
Right.
Okay, so unrealistic expectations.
Great.
We got that one.
Uh-huh.
But what about the emotional side of things?
Yeah.
Like when you actually turn your passion into your job.
Mm-hmm.
And, one thing that the sources talk about that I think is really interesting is burnout.
Yeah.
And I've experienced this myself.
Yeah.
I love to bake.
Yeah.
And I thought, oh, this would be a great side hustle.
Yeah.
I can make some money doing this.
Totally.
And it just like zapped all the joy out of it. Like as soon as I had deadlines
Yeah.
and people being like,
Demanding customers.
yeah, demanding and, wanting things a certain way,
Yeah.
it wasn't fun anymore.
And I think that's what's so interesting about this whole idea of burnout
Yeah.
is that it's about pressure, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like when you're doing something you love just for fun, there's no pressure.
Yeah.
But as soon as you have to do it
Right.
and it's tied to your livelihood
Yes.
and you've got clients depending on you,
Yeah.
you've got deadlines and all that stuff,
Then it becomes work.
it becomes work.
Yeah.
And it's not fun anymore.
And it's interesting because the sources talk about how it becomes less about the love of it
Right.
and more about,
Meeting expectations.
yeah.
And,
making money.
targets and deadlines
Yeah.
and all that kind of stuff.
It takes the joy right out.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so burnout.
Check. We got that one.
Okay. So the next one is tunnel vision.
Oh, yeah.
And I think this one's kind of sneaky.
Yeah, this one is sneaky because I think it has to do with how our brains work.
Right?
We get so focused
What is
on
that one thing?
that one thing
Yeah.
that we don't see other possibilities.
Yeah. And the sources actually talk about cognitive biases, like
Yeah.
confirmation bias.
So we're only looking for information
Right.
that supports,
That supports our passion.
yeah. So we're not even open
Exactly.
to other things.
Yeah. It's like having blinders on.
Oh, I love that. Yeah.
You're just focused on that one path.
Yeah. So how do we like get rid of the blinders?
Well, I think, one thing that the sources talk about is just being open-minded.
Okay.
Instead of being so focused on, finding that dream job
Right.
that perfectly matches your passion.
Mm-hmm.
Think about your skills.
Yeah.
What are you good at?
Right.
Are there other fields that you could apply those skills to?
Okay.
Are there adjacent fields?
Mhm.
That might be interesting
Yeah.
and might offer more opportunities.
That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
It's being open to other possibilities.
Yeah. Thinking outside the box.
Okay. Tunnel vision.
Check.
Got it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Next up is the economic reality check.
Oh.
Yeah. So this is the big one.
This is the big one, right?
Can your passion actually pay the bills?
Yeah. Can you make a living from it?
Yeah.
And the sources don't sugarcoat this.
No, they don't.
Like, they really emphasize
They're straight up about it.
that you could end up in a really tough situation
Yeah.
if you prioritize passion
Mm.
over income and job security.
And you end up,
Yeah.
in debt.
You
Left
just
or-
to chase your dream,
Yeah.
which ironically might end up
Right, taking away from the joy of it.
taking the joy out of it
Yeah.
because now you're stressed
Stressed, yeah.
about money.
Yeah. Okay, so economic reality check.
Okay.
Very important.
Yeah.
Okay, moving on.
Okay.
Passion evolves.
Yes.
And this one I think
That's
is
a big one.
really relevant.
Yeah.
Because, as we go through life,
We change.
we change.
Yeah.
And our interests change.
Absolutely.
So what we're super passionate about
At
20,
yes, might be completely different at
Yeah.
30 or 40.
yeah, have your interests changed over time.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Like I think about when I was like
Yeah.
in my early 20s,
Mhm.
I was like so into graphic design
Yeah.
and now I can barely use Photoshop.
And that's totally normal.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Like, our interests change.
Yeah.
Our passions evolve.
Totally. And I think what's interesting is like the sources point out
Yeah.
that maybe having like a flexible
Mhm.
career path
Yeah.
is better.
That allows you to kind of adapt as you change.
Yeah, because you don't know.
You don't know what you're going to be passionate about.
Right, in 10 years.
In 10 years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so passion evolves.
Check.
Check.
Got it.
Okay, last one. Practicality matters.
Oh, yeah.
This might seem obvious,
It seems obvious.
but it's easy to forget.
Yes, especially when you're excited about something.
Yeah, when you're like, I'm going to go after my dream.
Yeah, you forget about the boring stuff.
Right. And one of the sources actually said sacrificing stability or long-term goals
Right.
for the immediate gratification of pursuing a passion
Yeah.
can lead to regret.
Totally.
So you can't forget about those
We
things.
can't forget about the boring stuff.
Yeah, like benefits,
Side effects.
work-life balance,
Yeah, work-life balance.
growth potential.
Yeah,
All it matters.
it all matters.
Okay, so we've gone through all these pitfalls
Yeah.
of follow your passion.
We did.
So like, what does that mean for this whole idea?
Yeah, like, does this advice need an update?
Does it need a revamp?
I think it does.
Yeah.
I think looking at all these sources,
Mm-hmm.
it's clear that we need to be a little bit more nuanced
Okay.
in our approach.
So it's not about ditching passion.
No,
Come
it's
do-
about integrating it with practicality.
Oh, I like that.
Right.
A balanced approach.
Yeah, a balanced approach.
Yeah.
So it's not just about what you love.
Mm-hmm.
It's also about, can you make a living doing it?
Right.
Can you have a sustainable career?
Yeah.
That also allows you to tap into your passions.
Okay, so the key is finding that sweet spot
Finding that sweet spot, yeah.
between,
Passion and practicality.
yeah.
Yeah.
So it's not about ditching your passion.
No,
It's about getting strategic
absolutely.
about how to incorporate it
Yeah.
into your life.
Yeah.
Maybe it's a side hustle.
Yeah.
Maybe it's volunteer work.
Maybe it's a hobby.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like how can you weave what you love
Mm-hmm.
into a life that works?
That's the question.
That is the question. And here's another question
Okay.
that the sources didn't really get into.
Okay.
But I think it's interesting to think about.
Mm-hmm.
What if it's not even just about passion?
Okay.
What if it's about finding your purpose?
Oh, that's interesting.
Like something bigger
Yeah.
than just what you're,
Than just what you love.
than just what you love right now.
Right.
Like what's your purpose?
That's a good question.
It is a good question.
Yeah.
Something to think about.
Something to ponder.
All right. Well, on that note,
Yeah.
that's our deep dive
And to follow your passion.
and all its pitfalls.
And whether it's actually good advice.
Thanks for listening.
See you next